Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. I'm your host, Carly, and I'll be your guide on this journey from consciousness to cluelessness and back around again. Thanks for joining me for another Sunday solo episode. Whether it's Sunday night and you're getting ready for the week, Monday morning and you're on your way to work, or whatever day this podcast has found you, I'm really glad you're here. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness, or is it preventing you from achieving your goals? By now, you all know that therapy is an important part of my self-care. It has truly been a game changer in every aspect of my life. BetterHelp is the largest online counseling platform worldwide. They are changing the way people get help with facing life's challenges by providing convenient, discreet, and affordable access to a licensed therapist. BetterHelp makes professional counseling available anytime, anywhere, through a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it is professional counseling done securely online. And I have a special offer for you. Visit betterhelp.com/Carly and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. By using this code, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Carly. Take care of yourself today. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. So today I want to talk about coaching and a little bit of rebranding for what I offer that just feels 1,000% more right for me. So let me back up and kind of explain how I got to where we are now. So if you listen to the podcast or follow along with stuff I'm doing, you know, and you've heard me talk about the things I offer and the things I'm trained in and the things I offer as a part of my business. So I am a certified health and wellness coach. I am a certified meditation and mindfulness coach. I am a registered yoga teacher, my 200-hour level. And then within my own personal experience, I have done a lot of work with mental health. I've done a lot of work as an advocate for survivors of dating violence and sexual assault. So I have these experiences, ways of looking at the world, and then trainings that put me, I feel, in this kind of unique position. And when I got my certification to be a health and wellness coach, I imagined it kind of going beyond that, but I didn't know what that looked like. So for me, at least, when I imagine a health and wellness coach, I think of someone that really is just thinking about food and diet. And now, of course, health and wellness is beyond food and diet. However, I think when we hear the words health and wellness, the first kind of thoughts that would come to our mind naturally are, okay, this person's going to help me with what I eat, and this person's going to help me to move my body. Both of those things are true. I can help you with what you eat if going plant-based is your desire, and with moving your body. Of course, that is a part of my training and just a part of me and the things I love talking about and helping with. However, that doesn't feel like it's really what I offer. So there's this idea about coaching and kind of the differences or similarities or whatever it is in the different types of coaching. So one thing I thought that really explained kind of where I was at in thinking about what it meant to call myself a health and wellness coach, or like kind of what made more sense, I guess, is that it's beyond just change. So there are a lot of programs out there that are great. This is not a judgment so much as it's just not exactly the right fit for what I can offer and feel good offering. So there are a lot of programs that can help you if you just need like, okay, I need a 10-week plant-based diet plan. That's all I want. There are programs out there. Could I help you eat more plant-based for 10 weeks? Of course. However, what I like to kind of get into with people is not just the habit, but the why and the what you're doing. And that dives deeper. Surface level change of habits is a different thing than changing why you're doing it and changing how you see it. I would personally argue that these changes become more integrated into our lives and more like deeply integrated into our lives if we do work on all levels, not just changing the habit, but think a little more critically. So it's more, this is such a buzzword, but it's more personal development than just coaching. So you're restructuring that inner dialogue, that inner person, how you see yourself, so you can, in a really good way, make changes and take that into actionable steps with intention. So that is the difference. That being said, what I am rebranding as is all of those things I listed in the beginning. I love all of those things and they have taught me different things, but it felt silly to name all these different trainings I've done. And I wanted something that encompassed all of that and encompassed what I do and where I come from and kind of the mindset I want to bring into coaching. And that is making a transformation. That is making a transformation in your life that you want to make. So I am shifting all of that list of things into one idea, and it is a transformation coach. That's what I want to be. I want to be a transformation coach because that encompasses the whole damn thing, right? From micro to macro, like that can be transforming our inner dialogue of how we view food. And then making healthier choices and learning the why the entire time. Or that can mean moving your body, or that can mean digging into breath work and anxiety, or kind of digging into mindset shifts about self-love and how that can change your habits. It just feels like it encompasses all of those things in a little more holistic way, in a more packaged way than it did to say, I'm this and I'm this and I'm this and I have this training and this many hours and all of that equals what I can offer, because I can't tease those things apart. I can't always shut off some of those skills I learned as an advocate working with survivors. That kind of approach of digging into the why and helping someone shift that inner mindset is just what I love doing. Now, let me be clear. I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't go to like a therapist or an advocate or something for those like really specific trauma related things. I'm saying from a coaching standpoint, from a making change in your life, I think it's still okay to start with the inner stuff. And I would argue that it would make more sense to start there. So that's kind of holistically what I want to be doing. I thought this was a really good example I found online when I was looking up information about like transformational coaching, empowerment coaching, blah, 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 blah. So this article about transformational coaching, this example I thought was so good. So it's talking about, let's say you are looking for someone to assist you with losing weight. And you think of a personal trainer or a health coach. But often, according to this article, and I would agree, quote, the inability to stick to diet and exercise plans also stems from the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. As such, you might want to work with a weight loss transformation coach rather than or as well as a personal trainer. So, unquote. That is, I think, a really good example of working with a coach, and I want to kind of encompass all those pieces. So I want to start with the stories about who we are and dig into that and be able to go into coaching for your needs in terms of health or in terms of movement and plant-based food and yoga, whatever it is. I want to go on that journey with you, and I think talking about it in this way makes so much more sense and feels like actually what I want to offer and how I want to work with people. And the people that are into that, and maybe you're one of them listening right now, that's amazing. I dig this idea of kind of coming in at all levels. I think it makes for a longer lasting change, and it makes it for a more holistic process. It's one thing to think, oh, I'm such a shitty person, I need to lose weight. I feel like that's such an easy example in this realm, but let's just stick with it. I'm such a shitty person, I hate how I look, I want to lose weight. Okay, let's say you lose weight, but you haven't really fixed feeling like a shitty person or talking about why you felt like a shitty person and what that was related to. Without doing that work, it's so much easier to fall back into the old patterns because you haven't reworked the brain. You haven't done that rewiring before you did the action steps. So I want both, and I want you to have both, because that's what's made a difference for me too, is having kind of all of these pieces. It was one thing to work out, to run, to lift without dealing with some of those inner conflicts. But once I started doing that, all those other things became easier and became a part of my routine in a much better way. So what does that mean for you, the listener? Well, a couple things. One, if you are interested in any of the stuff I talked about for the last however many minutes and working with a coach, and if what I described sounds like the vibe you want, please reach out to me, consciouslycarly@gmail.com or social media, and let's talk. Because if you are kind of like turned on by that idea of transformational coaching, I want to work with you. That's amazing. That's what we're going for. So that's one thing. And two, if you're not ready for that, but you're just kind of in this idea of making changes in your life in general, think about how you can make some of those internal and external changes with the habits you're focusing on. You don't need a coach sometimes to do that. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to work with you, but that's just part of it. Everyone's at different phases. And if you're not there yet, or that's not something you would be interested in ever, I want you to still know that it's available to you to think about how to kind of do that work inside and outside. And it sounds really cliche, but that's what makes the important long-lasting changes in our life. So if you are interested, reach out to me. I cannot wait to work with you. And if you want a little bit more information before chatting, you can go to my website, consciouslycarly.com, and hit work with me, and there'll be some more information about my coaching, and I will be updating that and adding a few more fun things soon, so look out for that. Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you're enjoying this podcast, hit subscribe wherever you're listening. If you want to help me get this into the ears of more listeners, send it to a friend, text it to a family member, share on social media. Whatever you can do really helps me out. Head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, and then you could be read on air as a review of the week. And finally, head over to patreon.com/consciouslycarly and join the amazing community that we are growing over there. Until next time.